Hello and welcome to my video about coins of Constantine the Great. These coins feature, for example, his father, his mother, his stepmother, a bunch of coins of Constantine the Great, and some family members, extended family members. So let's start from the very beginning. Constantine the Great's father was Constantius I. There's a beautiful big coin of Constantius I. And what's interesting is this is actually a deification issue of his. Coins that say consecratio on the back are issued after the emperor has passed on, and a lot of times feature the eagle or the funeral pyre. So this is Constantine the Great's dad. His mother was Helena. Helena is also known as Saint Helena, and very, very important. This is a very rare type of hers. One of the most rare and most coveted types too. This is a beautiful portrait of hers too. This is the stepmother, Theodora, of Constantine the Great. Now let's get to the coins of Constantine the Great. Below are illustrated all the major types of Constantine the Great coins that you can collect. This one features the camp gate. The camp gate is very interesting reverse, as you know, I even have an article about this, is that these towers on top actually illustrate fire signal beacons that allowed the empire to send troops wherever necessary in its frontiers through the use of fire signals. I have a whole article, about that too. Beautiful portrait of Constantine. Notice you could actually read the Roman characters very easily. It says Constantinus Augustus. Augustus was the title that was given emperors ever since the time of Emperor Augustus, the first Roman emperor. This is another beautiful coin of Constantine the Great. Very sharp details. This one features two soldiers with two military standards in between. And the inscription around says Gloria Exercitus. So it pretty much means to the glory of the army. See, notice the soldiers are standing with spears and shields, and these standards are what the legionary soldiers would carry around with them. Next, let's check out this coin. This one features Sol, the sun god of the Roman Empire. He's also known as Sol Invictus. See, it says Invicto Comiti. And he's holding the globe, and he's raising his right arm. What's interesting is I even have come across a very rare type where I have Sol, and on the left side there's a cross. A very rare type. But that's usually not seen. More often is this type. Next. Now this coin. Another beautiful coin. And this one features the inscription Sarmatia de Victa. This is Victory. She's you could picture her as a winged victory angel, and she's pretty much the proto-angel that later Christians adopted in their religion. She's holding the trophy, which is a symbol of victory over the enemy. Basically, when enemy army was vanquished, they took the arms, the shields, the swords and stuff like that, and put it together and made a trophy out of it. And also the palm branch, which is another symbol of victory. Here, victory, she's also kind of stepping on the vanquished foe on the bottom. This is called a captive. Interesting type. See on the bottom, over here, it says Sirm. This is a coin of the Sirmian mint. This is where the locations of the mint marks of the Constantinian era and later would be located. Next, this coin celebrates the victory over Licinius. See another picture of Victoria, the winged angel of victory. You have a trophy, you have a palm branch, you have the vanquished foe on the bottom. This coin celebrates the victory over Licinius I. This is Licinius I. We'll get back to him later. He married the half-sister of Constantine the Great, Constantia. Now, so this coin celebrated the victory over this guy. And this coin is interesting, is that it also celebrates the victory over Licinius. But over here you have a very Christianized portrait of Constantine the Great. Notice, unlike in the other types, where he's staring forward, he's actually doing kind of like a stargazing. He's looking up to God, for divine inspiration. Basically gazing up at the heavens. This is a very interesting type. It also features, the victory over Licinius. Very important to note, much more rare type than this one where he's just staring to the right. Next, this is an interesting type as it features Constantine the Great wearing the helmet with a spear over his shoulder and holding a beautiful shield. And on the back, you have two victories. Notice the motif. You have two victories holding a shield over an altar. Very interesting. Next, we have another interesting coin of Constantine the Great. And this one celebrates a naval victory. You see in the between it has Victory holding two wreaths, and she's standing on top of a ship, a galley ship. Next, this one features the writing Vote XX. Pretty much it's a promise that you're going to rule about 20 years. Notice this was issued circa 324 AD. So, he started being emperor at 307. So he's putting this on his coin that, he's planning to rule at least another 3 years. So, that's interesting. Next, we have another beautiful portrait of Constantine the Great. And we have the camp gate. Notice it actually has 4 turrets at the top, and it has the open gates. What I'm illustrating here is a more rare type with the open gates. Then you have the more standard with the 2 turrets and just an open door. So this is a very, very rare type. Also interesting to note. Next, what we have here is a coin celebrating the foundation of Rome and its founders, Romulus and Remus, with the she-wolf on the reverse. Notice that the 2 twins are suckling on the she-wolf. They're being fed by the she-wolf, who found these 2 abandoned twins, and she actually rescued them, and they were able to drink the wolf's milk, and one of the 2 twins, Romulus, became the founder of Rome, hence the name Rome. This symbol is still used to this day for the city of Rome, and very, very important type. This coin was issued circa 330s AD. The reason for its issue was Constantine decided to commemorate the old Roman capital and the brand new capital that he built in ancient Byzantium, which is Constantinople. See, this one says Constantinopolis, and this one says Urbs Roma. So this one features the personification of Roma on the front and the she-wolf on the reverse. And then you have this Constantinople commemorative, which features the personification of Constantinopolis, the brand new Roman capital in the east. So that city is modern day Istanbul. This coin also features on the back the Victoria riding on a ship to the left with a shield. Very interesting type. So what Constantine the Great had to do was he had to give credence and celebrate both cities. As you know, he moved his capital from Rome to Constantinople later, hence the name Constantinople. Later it became Istanbul under the Ottoman Turkey Empire. Next, let's get into the sons and other related subjects of Constantine. Crispus was the son of Constantine the Great. See, it says Crispus non Caius. Crispus was the son of Constantine the Great by his first wife, Minervina. This coin features the altar with a globe on top. Very interesting type, and also it illustrates the portrait type where you have the helmeted type. Next, let's move on. So he's also the stepson of Fausta. Fausta was the second wife of Constantine the Great. Beautiful portrait. And on the reverse, it features her as a spes holding two other baby emperors, one of them being Constantine II. This is a coin of Constantine II, Constantine II, and it features Sol on the reverse, holding the globe and raising his right hand. Beautiful portrait. He lived basically only a few years after the death of Constantine in 337. See, 337 to 340. Usually that end date is when an emperor gets passes on. Next, here's another son of Constantine the Great. His name is Constans. What's beautiful about this coin is this reverse features the phoenix on top of a pyre. The pyre was one of these things that they, burned up at a funeral, the bodies of, the deceased. And so the phoenix represents the rebirth after death. Also, the phoenix has been associated with Jesus Christ as he was reborn after his death, or resurrection. So some people have made the connection to the phoenix being as Jesus Christ. It's a beautiful portrait coin, Constans. Next, what's interesting about this coin, you see it says Vetranio in the name of Constantius II. First of all, Vetranio was an elderly veteran soldier of Constantine the Great's army. At one point, he usurped the power, and he issued coins with his name on them, which are not illustrated here, but this coin was issued by Vetranio in the name of Constantius II. By issuing coins in the name of Constantius II and others such as Constantius Gallus, what Vetranio did was he showed it as a sign of allegiance. But what's interesting about this coin is the reverse type of this coin. The reverse type has the inscription Hac signo victor eris, or in other words, by this sign you shall conquer. You see it has the victorious emperor holding the labarum. The labarum is the military standard which features the symbol of Christianity, which is the Chi-Rho, which is the XP superimposed. So Chi-Rho were the letters for Jesus Christ, Christos. And on the back you have Victoria crowning the victorious emperor. The story goes was that Constantine the Great, in a great battle, he saw this symbol in the sky. He decided to paint it on his shields, and he went on to victory. So it was almost like a sign from God, and this reverse type is very interesting and very highly important. Next, we have Maximian. Maximian is basically the son. Basically, Constantine the Great was the son-in-law of Maximian. The reason for this is that Maximian and Constantius I had a tetrarchy. For more, I'll feature more information, but basically Maximian, Constantius, and two other people, they had four rulership. And what happened was, the idea was that they would adopt the future emperors for the accession, to ascend to the throne. So Maximian would have adopted Constantine the Great as basically his son to become the future emperor. So very interesting type. Next, let's move on to some other important people. Constantius Gallus became Caesar. See, he was Roman Caesar from 351 to 354 AD. You had the person Constantius II being emperor at the time. What he wanted to do was, he was a little bit older, and he decided to bring in somebody out of the family into the mix of things. Caesar is more of like a prince title. So you have the emperor's name is Augustus, and the prince would be a Caesar. So this one features Constantius Gallus, who is a Caesar. Very interesting type. What's also interesting is that he was the basically grandson of this woman, Theodora, the stepmother of Constantine the Great. So that's basically another family line. So this person would be a half nephew of Constantine the Great. Very interesting. You have another half nephew of Constantine the Great. His name is Dalmatius. Rare type. You see, only struck for a couple years. What's interesting is that his coins, I've found, is that they feature, see it says FL Dalmatius Nobsi. Sometimes it's written Dalmatius with an E, or sometimes with an A. So that's the interesting thing about these coins. So these are quite rare. And on the reverse it features Gloria Exercitus with the one military stand and the two soldiers. Another dedication to the glory of the Roman army. This person named Julian II is also known as the apostate emperor. By the time that he was around, basically Christianity has taken hold. And he decided to try to bring back paganism to the ancient Roman world. He was basically the grandson, again, of Theodora, and ruled for a couple years, and then passed on. This is a nicer, bigger coin where he is featured as emperor. Notice the title that you could read on the coin. Julianus. They didn't have the letter J, so it would be DNFL Julianus, basically. And so he was the half-nephew of Constantine the Great, through Fausta being his stepmother. This one features more of a pagan symbology, featuring the Taurus. Taurus was also incidentally his astrological symbol. So very interesting, enigmatic emperor, and a lot of people enjoy. There's been great books written about him. So moving on forward. This Licinius II was the son of Licinius I. These two, Constantine the Great and Licinius, didn't start out as foes, because what happened was Licinius I, he married the half-sister Constantia of Constantine the Great. So Constantine the Great had a half-sister, Constantia, and Licinius I married her. Notice there's a lot of intermarriages in order to, I guess for power's sake, so that, to ensure that there would be a good ruling dynasty. So Licinius I, wife Constantia, and him had this son, Licinius II. Licinius II was a half-nephew of Constantine the Great. This one is kind of interesting. The reverse is because it features the military standard, featuring a vow of rule of 10 years, vote X, and on the back you have underneath you have these two enemies, two captives, vanquished captives on the bottom. So now getting back to Licinius I. What's interesting to also note about this coin is it's some of its original silvering. This is actually most of the original silvering that got kept on the coin, making this coin in super fantastic condition. Because by this era in Roman history, you had the debasement of the Roman coinage to pretty much usually not having any silver containing coins, but in order to have the old illusion of value that the Roman currency had, such as the coins of the denarius dentenarianus, what they did is they actually put a tiny thin layer of silvering, like I guess coated it with silvering, to give it this silverish color. Notice that places it's worn away. Most of the time, by the time it comes around to our ages, is that the silvering got worn away. So when you see a coin that's kind of like this, that's something to consider, that it's in the higher conditions than some of the other ones. I'm not saying that it's in the highest of conditions, but basically this is something some people watch out for, this original silvering. So just imagine all these coins had at some point, even the ones in super fantastic condition, had some of this original silvering. For the silvering to survive, it's quite rare. What's interesting about this coin is that it features Jupiter, the king of the gods, his Greek equivalent being Zeus. He's holding the victory on a globe, Victory, the goddess of victory. Her equivalent was Nike in the ancient Greek times. And the symbol of Jupiter, Zeus, the eagle, holding the wreath, which is a symbol of victory. So, beautiful coin, very interesting type to collect. Next, this person was basically a brother-in-law of Constantine the Great. But these two I featured at the very end were some of the foes he vanquished in order to become, the sole ruler, and then his sons became, the emperors. So Maxentius was somebody that Constantine the Great battled, and one of the great battles is known as the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. Maxentius also had a son of Romulus Augustus, and like a lot of these emperors, if one gets defeated, the son also gets vanquished. So that's something to watch out for. So this guy didn't go on to become emperor because his father got defeated by Constantine the Great. So now that I've talked about all these wonderful different coins, I would like to tell you that my name is Elias Lobin, and I have all these coins specifically shown here for sale at the time of the making of this video. And below this video, you will find a link to the article I have made in regards to these coins. So this way you can learn more about these different coin types and search for these specific coin types in my store. The benefit of Constantine era coins is that they are quite numerous, and you could put together a whole collection quite inexpensively. Another benefit is that when you buying coins for me is that you have the leverage of my many years of experience. I've worked with over 48,000 authentic ancient Greek and Roman coins. I have stellar feedback, and so each coin comes with a beautiful certificate of authenticity which matches these coin flips also, and of course a lifetime guarantee of authenticity. So when you're visiting my store, you can get educated, you can have a lot of fun studying these different coin types, and I like to go the extra mile. And along with that, I have a thing called the best offer feature. So feel free to search around and look at the various different coins, and then you could submit offers for my approval where I am very competitive and would be willing to accept any reasonable offers on many of these beautiful coins. So like this video on the bottom, share it with others, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my eBay store after you've had a chance to review the article that's linked to at the bottom of this. Have a great day. Bye-bye.